capturing a good portion of the map, really good at economy, really good at raiding, really good at army control. He's a well-rounded player. I am not off his nuts, if that's what people are going to say. I just think he's a really good player. But he's also known around the place for his mouth. And, you know, I'm sure he's not even going to deny that himself. He's kind of a shit talker. He's really good at getting inside the heads of the other players, getting them mad, getting them frustrated. And that might also have to do with why, you know, getting inside your opponent's heads really has a lot to do with your wins, I'm sure. And so now we have horse archers against horse archers, and he's splitting up his army just a little bit, trying to stop the overall expansion. He's going to send those archers, kill a lot of those villagers, stop them from getting that gold, and that's going to do a really good job. And he has some on the back of his base. Now, not so much on the front line, so we're going to see if that ended up being a good idea. He stepped back his main army, and he's going to force SaCriFiCe to run around and clean up the raiding coming from Priest. Wow, Priest knocked out that entire second expansion on the top side of the map. But here comes SaCriFiCe trying to clean up, trying to take that out. But what that's doing is he's sending a good portion of his army over there to take care of that. And we have a little bit of the equal, but just in a lot less units coming from SaCriFiCe, coming in for the raiding. Let's look at Priest's overall economy right now. Has a good portion of farms, but he's very low on his wood, and food. Doing all right on his gold. We're going to switch over to SaCriFiCe's side. SaCriFiCe is pretty much in the exact equal of the game. These two players are completely even, but we do have, now we have SaCriFiCe coming up for a little bit of a, going on the offense now, sending in a few rams, but he's sending them right into Priest's army. So we're going under attack. We have two castles filled with villagers, so automatically a lot of arrows coming in, trying to attack those rams, taking out those rams easily. Not going to do much damage to those castles, and we saw that SaCriFiCe try to gain access to that relic, but was easily torn down because Priest is not no dummy. He's gonna send units and try to hold down that relic until he's able to come capture it himself. And SaCriFiCe, seeing that his army was complete over here, is going to decide to move around, go for another castle where Priest's army is not. But he doesn't know that Priest is the legend killer, and he's gonna kill. He's going to kill. Doing a little damage, not really being undetected for a little bit, taking out a few barracks, a few different buildings with those rams coming into the side of his base. I don't really know what SaCriFiCe is doing. Decided to go the long way around. And there we have a resign from SaCriFiCe. Not really able to do much. Just didn't want to deal with this. I guess he decided that he's going to just try to win the rest of the games that he can. But right now the score is Priest winning 2-0. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the next game. This Huns game was actually a pretty big deal for SaCriFiCe. I'd say the Huns is always anybody's game. So we're going to see how the rest plays out. See you there. All right, everybody, welcome back. I'm going to start it over so everybody's able to see exactly what Priest and everybody else is. I had a request from somebody in the forums for me to kind of, in the beginning minutes of the game, to see what each player's start is, the first couple of seconds, to see what each player's villagers do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to view lock each player. I'm going to let them do create a few buildings, see what their main strategy is. And oh yeah, by the way, it's Mongols against probably Celts. I'm not even going to check. Yeah, we can right here. So and by the way, I was let known that it's not Celts, it's Celts. I've been saying Celts for years, ever since Age of Empires in the Zone days. So what an idiot I am, right? But anyway, I'm going to jump into it. We have the standard stables being created by Priest. Now he is sending his heavy camels that are associated with the Mongols down to SaCriFiCe's base. And just going to give it a few more seconds, creating an archery range. And I'm sure why he's creating that archery range, it's always a good idea to create a range. If you're able to create those horse archers, it's a good idea to rush with a couple of them if you're going to rush your opponent, because as exactly what we see, if your opponent is creating that castle with a villager wrapped around the fortified walls, that obviously means that the short range is not going to be able to do that. But if you were to rush with some horse archers, they're going to be able to attack that castle, that villager inside the fortified walls, and so it's just always a good strategy. I believe that's exactly what Priest is doing. He's no dummy. He's going to run after it. He's going to get it. And we're going to go ahead, and that's what Priest start looks like for the Mongols. We're going to go ahead and start it over, switch sides, and see exactly what SaCriFiCe is going to do with his 3 villagers. And he's going to start with 2 on 1 barracks and 1 on the stable. He already sent that sent the scouts in. They're at completely even right now, so they're both going to reach each other's bases at the exact same time. Got a castle up here, siege workshops coming everywhere. So siege is a big part of SaCriFiCe's game, coming from the Celts right now. It's gonna be weird calling them the Celts. I honestly like the Celts better. I think it looks like it says the Celts, and I think Celts sounds better. But hey, we're gonna try to stay to historic accuracy, which is going to be the Celts. I almost forgot just then. So we have that pikeman taking down his scout. Siege workshops coming up left and right. Let's see, what exactly is he going to build? He's wasting a lot of time not putting any kind of unit in there to be built. Already running into a population problem, but he has those houses quickly up to where, so it's not a problem. Already, as you can see, he's built fortified walls up around his villager. And one thing he does, it looks like SaCriFiCe is going to be, as those units are going to be created, he's putting them inside his workshop so they're not easy targets. That's a really good idea until you have a pretty good mass of scorps or such. It's a pretty good idea to just keep them inside that siege workshop just in case Priest starts to rush. They're pretty easy targets. When you only have 1 scorp, not really doing much damage. When you have a lot of them put together, they're going to do a lot of damage. So he's playing it really well. Already decided that Priest is not rushing, so he's going to go ahead and take him out. And already has that castle up, so neither player really rushing too much. Not really too much rushing Civ. Mongols against Celts. So it's going to be a little bit slower. Each player is going to build going to build up their army, and they're probably going to meet in the middle. And a lot of times these kind of games really develop good expansion when neither player has to worry about rushing and worrying about looking inside the opponent's base, taking care of their, trying to take out villagers and such. It really gives them extra time for them to expand. And for you newbies out there, I hate to say it, but for you newbies out there, you really should pay attention to these videos. Maybe download these games, really see how they're playing it. Probably would really help each player out. Let's see, here we have the slow trudge that is associated with the siege, the extremely slow trudge, all the way up to the somewhat middle of the map. And it looks like SaCriFiCe is going to be making the first move against Priest's camels and heavy cavalry archers. And here they come. It looks like this army is going to easily be able to take them out. And it's also going to be able to, those siege is easily going to be able to take down those villagers up. But the castle is up, and we all know that castles rip through siege weaponry. So let's see exactly what happens. Right now, SaCriFiCe has a population of 111 to 170. We're going to jump over to Priest side, where he has only a population of 77 to 180. So SaCriFiCe definitely has a lot more units. And just would overall, if we were just going to go for unit against unit, I'm sure SaCriFiCe would win. I don't know why he's bringing back those siege, probably regrouping, trying to get them all together at one time. And it can be extremely frustrating for me with those siege. Like, if you regroup them, take one group that's already going up this way, take another group, then put them together. They then have to create their formation, and it's just, I hate how long siege and how slow siege is sometimes. Uh-oh, that monk is not going to be able to get away.